Assalamualaikum and konnichiwa. Thank you for joining today's episode of Academy Speaking with me, Azalia. And it's been a while, and mainly because I have 30 days left. I have 30 days before the preliminary submission of my thesis. Yep, we are down to 1 month. So it's been quite hectic. Finishing up and perfecting the dissertation, sending off it to the proofreader, getting it back, re-editing it, and then formatting. Man, I spent so much time just more on formatting my paper than I expected that I had to format. It's a lot of formatting, and when it comes to like 200 plus pages, formatting is quite time consuming. But aside from that, plus the conditions here in Japan regarding COVID is not looking very good, but we've been staying home for most of the part, not really affected by it, but taking all the extra precautions that we need, especially when we go out. But we only ever go out just to go either for grocery shopping or to the post office, and that's the only two things I think that we ever go out for. So in today's episode, we will be talking about the MEXT Scholarship, but perhaps in a slightly different light, and mainly because due to the COVID-19 situation, it has affected the MEXT Scholars in a very big way. So I think it's important for people who are planning to apply or people who are applying this year. Also, congratulations to those who have already passed the document assessment. Good luck for the written one coming up. So for all these people who are coming to Japan, planning to come to Japan, planning to apply, I think it's also important to just shed some light on the current situation of how MEXT Scholars have been affected by the COVID-19 and what you can expect or what you can be careful of. If you've been reading the news, especially on the Japan Times, you will be aware that there are many students, international students, stranded in their home countries due to the travel ban issued by the Japanese government beginning in April. The travel ban was mainly targeted for foreign nationals, and in the beginning, of course, people thought this was mainly for tourists, of course, coming in and out. But what we did not expect was that it also included international students and researchers who have valid student visas to be studying inside the country. And although, yes, this affects students from all backgrounds and whatnot, as I said, I'm going to talk about how specifically for MEXT students, why this was very, very detrimental and made things very difficult. So first, let's just talk about how you get your scholarship every month as a MEXT Scholar. So for the MEXT Scholarship, in order for you to get your monthly stipend, you are required to go to your university in the first week of the month. So if January, maybe January 1st until January 7th, and you are required to sign a form. Not exactly a form, okay, it's just you gotta sign where your name is stated in order to say that, hello, I am in the country for this month, so I want my scholarship. So if you do not sign for your scholarship, you will not get your scholarship. So the scholarship is just forfeited just like that. The reason they have this system is to make sure that it's only the people who are in Japan are the people who are getting the scholarship. So this is quite different from my experience as a public service department scholar back when I did my degree. Now that one, regardless of where you were or what you were doing, you knew that the scholarship would check into your bank account every month or every 3 months. So you didn't have to worry. You didn't have to sign anything. There was no way that your scholarship would be forfeited unless told otherwise. So because of that, back then, even when I went back for the holidays for 2 months, I didn't have to worry because I knew that my scholarship would still be in. I wouldn't have to worry about my rent because they would just automatically charge from my bank account. So all I had to do is come back and just paid some bills. But even bills, you can have them scheduled to be minused from your own account as well, which makes it very easy. They just like to minus everything from your bank. So yeah, it was you didn't really have to worry that much if you were in the country because you know that your things and your place here were taken care of. However, in the case of the MEXT scholarship, like I said, if you went back and you went back longer and you were not able to, longer than a month I guess, and not able to sign for your scholarship, then your scholarship will be forfeit. So this is where the problem came in for MEXT Scholars when the travel ban was issued, because it was issued in April, just before the semester started. In March, a lot of students went back for spring break. Even myself, I would have gone back, but I did not because my parents instead this time was coming to visit me. If not, I already had plans to be going back to Malaysia. So most of them were back for the holidays, and if you're back for 1 month, it's okay because you know that things are still under control. However, once the travel ban was issued, then it became a problem because you can't come back to Japan and you were not able to sign for your scholarship. And when there's no scholarship money, how are you going to pay for your rent and bills and etc.? Even more difficult was even when MEXT was aware of the conditions of all these students who were stranded in their home countries or elsewhere. They were at first still very strict on their rules of not being able to sign and not being able to get your money, and they were like, oh, okay, so you're not in the country anyway, you're not coming back, so yeah, you're not getting your scholarship. And that's just ridiculous because even though we're not in the country, we still have a house here where we have to pay rent and settle bills, and at the time we didn't know how long this travel ban was going to be. And for some students where the scholarship is their main source of income, it was just very difficult and very inconvenient because if I say so myself, if I had gone back to Malaysia and if I was stuck there and not being able to come back there, I'm unemployed in my own country, right? I'm a student. How am I supposed to be, even if I have to take out from my pocket money and pay rent out here, I don't know where I'm going to be finding that kind of money, especially if you think about the exchange rates, Malaysia to Japanese yen. Wow, that's a lot. And not only that, if you knew how mafan it is to send money from Malaysia to Japan, it's really it's really hasslesome. I don't know. It's just so mafan to send money from Malaysia into your Japanese bank account. Like, a lot of people say, oh, why don't you try TransferWise? Yes, I do use TransferWise from sending yen back to Malaysia in ringgit. But if you want to know, we don't have right now a service of TransferWise from Malaysia to Japan. And if you have to do it, you have to do it a different way, which costs so much, and you're just losing money instead of whatever. It's just really difficult. Okay, that's it. Full stop. Difficult. I think it was roughly 2 months into the travel ban where only MEXT realized that, okay, fine, we will start making things slightly more lenient. And now, alhamdulillah, yes, even though they are stranded in their home countries, they will still be able to get their scholarship as long as they send in some required documents, which is a great relief. But I guess that settles for that part. But I really just can't imagine what would have happened in me and Kohin's situation, because we live quite isolated away from our other Malaysian communities, so it's going to be very hard to ask for help, for people to actually come up to our place and ask for help. Because the great thing is, if you live in university cities or places where near to universities or in a dormitory, you can always rely on people around there to help you out. So that settles that issue for now. And currently, alhamdulillah, they are allowing international students back into the country. However, based on what I've read, they are also making the process very meticulous and just very annoying. Another spectrum of MEXT Scholars that I didn't really think about until yesterday after reading a tweet was about the students who were meant to come here in April 2020. So based on what I've read, apparently they were given a choice to either take the scholarship in April, go online for classes and try and get into Japan as fast as possible, or they can defer their studies into the following year. So why is this problematic is because as the tweet mentioned, I think I'll link it somewhere, for most of these people, they have probably already quitted their jobs, packed up their things, and just getting ready to start their life as a student here in Japan. So now that they have no source of income, and then knowing that okay, you can go ahead and go online, but you're having the same issues that we had about the whole, you can't sign your MEXT scholarship, so you won't get the stipend because you're not in the country, yada yada yada. It just makes it even more difficult for them to start their program. What makes it difficult is because if they decided to start in the April 2020 and go for the online classes, they still don't get it. They have forfeited 6 months of their scholarship, and it is counted in that 2 years stipend. It's not something that will be added later, like okay, because this 6 months you didn't get it, we're gonna add it at the back. No, it's just like you didn't get it then, you're not gonna get it, the end. So it's a lot of kinks, at the end of the day, there's a lot of kinks that needs to be fixed. It's a lot of kinks that need a lot of patience and fixing, in my opinion. And to be really honest, me and Kohin are just extremely lucky that we didn't go back for our spring break, because like I said it earlier, I really I wouldn't know what would have happened if we did, considering that I'm already in my final year of my PhD. See, I already need to submit things, and I had a lot of presentations and whatnot. I didn't know how they would do it. I do have a colleague who is stuck in China, who's not able to come back yet, but so far I haven't caught up with her yet, but she was there during our second year presentation. I hope everything is well for her, but to think that if both me and Kohin were not able to come back, I don't know, I think we'll probably get evicted from this place by now, or come back to everything gone, who knows, I don't know. So that's it, I think, for today's episode. Just something to think about for applicants of MEXT scholarship. It is a diplomatic scholarship with no bonds, but because that there are no bonds, I think that they have all these kinks and all these underlying issues that need some attention. And I think it's important for you guys to know straight on what kind of scholarship you're getting yourself into. But yeah, there's a lot of news that you can read about it right now. I hope things will get better. And if you are also a MEXT scholar, do share your stories down below in the comment section. We can read them together. Before I forget, there have been some support groups on Facebook for MEXT scholars who are facing a lot of stranded issues. I have not gone through it in detail, but there are some channels that they can help you with. So do check that out. I'll also link that below for you. Other than that, it's a hot summer. Do take care, drink a lot of fluids, and take care of that corona out there. Till then, thank you again. Assalamualaikum.